Hello, everyone. How are you? It's good to see you all. Thank you for joining today. So I've been trying out some new tech and some interesting things. I'm very excited to have the opportunity to share these new technologies with you. Still haven't gotten Instagram working out properly, so I'm going to try that out too. Behind me is a green screen, and that green screen's primary objective is to entertain you guys with some new backgrounds, but my filter failed on Instagram, and I'm not sure exactly what to do here. So anyways, I always like to share things with you in the moment and in the journey. It's very, very exciting to have the opportunity to have a chit chat with you about applying innovation and creativity in our reality today. Now, before I start things over, we're going to give it a couple of seconds just for everyone on Instagram to log on. And also, I'm going to try to mess around with the filter on Instagram and see if I can figure out how to do this right, because I've terribly failed at it. Oh, mama. How do I make this happen? In the meantime, let me hear from you guys. How are you guys doing? What's new? What's going on in your life? How did you, last week, how has that been? Hi, Jihad. How are you, Habibi? Good to see you. How do I add an effect? I think... Okay, add video or photo for your background. How do I add in a video or photo for my background? How do I do that? Add a photo or video for your background. Hey, where do you add the photo and video for your background? Let's try. All right. Let's see if I can make this happen. Ladies and gentlemen who are watching me on Facebook and YouTube, I appreciate your patience. This is all new to me, to be honest, and I really tried to prepare myself for it. Let's see. How do I do that? So this goes like that. Daniel, hello. How are you? Where do I make this happen? I have no clue. So I'm not sure yet. All right, let's try some filters out. There you go. That looks good. How about that? How about this? How about this? How about this? How about this? Okay. Ahla. All right, I'm not sure how to make this happen, but it's okay. You guys can deal with this really horrible background for now, which is absolutely terrible. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into the program as we figure this out. So what we're going to be talking about today is applying innovation and creativity in our reality. And my background is horrendous. Now, why is innovation, creativity important? It's important because, in fact, if you look at where we are right now as a world and all the challenges that we're facing, you'll recognize most probably that all we're doing really in the last 2 years is problem solving, right? And so problem solving, thank you. Problem solving definitely requires a new way of thinking and a new way of approaching things. So let's take a look at where this applies as I still try. I don't like to give up on anything, guys. So right now, as everyone's watching on Instagram, and all of you kind and wonderful and incredible people are giving me a chance to mess around and figuring out how to create a background on this thing, I am gonna continue to talk to you guys and just share with you some important facts and information. The first being that if you are facing some challenges in how to make more money, you're gonna need innovation and creativity. If you're facing challenges on how to improve your efficiency, you're gonna need innovation and creativity. Daniel's asking, I wanna ask about the job or the ambitions and investment in some issues we also like, as long as it's related to it. Happy birthday, John. Thanks, buddy, but it's not my birthday. My birthday is in March, but I'll take it. All right, cool. And there's gotta be a way to make this happen. I swear, add a photo or background. Where do you add the photo? How do you add the photo? How, my friend? How do you do this? Just tell me, please. Speak to me. Instagram. Talk to me. Talk to me, my friend. How do you do it? How do you get the photo in the background? So anything you really want to do is going to require some innovation and creativity. Now, let's kind of explore that a little bit further and try to get a better understanding of its application and why this topic is going to be very important for today. So this topic is going to be important for today because what it's going to do is going to empower you to leverage your ability to use your brain in the most effective way possible to bring out the best possible results, and at the same point in time, employ these results in an innovative way that brings out great solutions and great results. So Roy's telling me focus, John. Roy, I apologize. I was really trying to solve the background issue on Instagram, but it's not happening. My fault, whatever. I'll deal with it later. Anyways, so what do we do and how do we move forward? Let's start off with a couple of things. First of all, what's the difference between creativity and innovation? Can somebody tell me? So let's start off from there. If I were to say, what is creativity and what is innovation? What would you guys say it is? So I'm waiting to hear back from you. Thanks, Misha. The whole purpose of having a fresh background for you guys is to change things. So I have a full green screen setup thingamajig going out behind me, a full studio and lights. Everything's amazing except for Instagram. It's not working as it should. So I'd love to hear from you guys. What do you think? What's the difference between creativity and innovation? And as I wait for those responses, thank you, Abdullah. Enta mnawar ya habibi. So, Sarah, you're saying innovation is a whole new solution? All right, cool. How does that relate to creativity then? What do you think? How does that relate to creativity? Come on, somebody give me some responses, please. Comments, let's go. Let's get the show on the road. What's the difference between innovation and creativity? Okay, Madlino, the focus is the difference. The focus, okay. Sarah, creativity, that is to present an idea in a different way. And this is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for this because from your responses, I can tell that you're not really sure what the difference is between creativity and innovation. So Roy, you have to be creative to be innovative, I guess. Okay, cool. Thanks, bro. It's great to see you, by the way. Jihad, innovation needs creativity. All right. So how do I start creativity and end it? And how do I start innovation and end it? And how do I really leverage that or get the most out of it? Nancy, you're saying creativity. Okay, that also works. Shukaman. What else? Come on, people. I know you can make this happen. Dig deep. Let's go. What do you think? What else do we have as a difference between creativity and innovation? Keep messing around with filters on Instagram. Okay, that's definitely not a filter I want. All right. Does this have a nice background here? Nope. That also works. I've never put filters before. Wow, this is lovely. How nice. Okay, so I guess this is totally unprofessional, but I'm glad this is going to be entertaining for you guys. Okay, Jihad is saying creativity is thinking outside the box to come up with new innovative ideas. All right. Okay, this is quite fun. Great. Innovation is creating a new method. Okay, so you see it's quite complex for everybody, and I swear I'm going to stop this in a few seconds. I'm just trying to find a normal background that's going to be better than the current background, and so far that's not happening. So I'm just going to go back to the green screen, which I wish I could figure out how to get it to have some kind of, okay, it's not going to happen. Anyways, let's do this. So the difference between innovation and creativity, I'm glad this is entertaining for you guys, is the following. Creativity is our ability to tap into past experiences, things we've done before for a very, very long time, okay? And then pretty much, if you want, linking ideas together. So in fact, there was a study done to find out how do we increase creativity in general, and is creativity an important skill for the 2030 decade? And we found that creativity is one of the most important skills that are required in today's world. So innovation and creativity are primary and essential skills for the next 10 years. And people with high levels of creativity and innovation are going to surpass the performance of others in their respective fields. So what does this really mean, and how do I leverage this? And this is really serious. Now I'm going to get into the serious stuff, okay? This is pretty much how it works. Workout is saying creativity, you have an idea, innovation is how it's applied. Very close. How do you get these ideas? So the first things we do is the following. In order to be creative, we need to make sure that we are in the right brain. So remember, our brains are broken down into several different drivers, and I've explained this to you guys before. So we have our reptilian brain, which is in the back, which is in charge of our survival. We have our emotional or limbic brain, which is in the middle. And then we have our prefrontal cortex, which is in charge primarily of our creative thinking, logic, and basically thinking out of the box, creating something out of nothing. Now, the biggest problem is most people are creative when it comes to high stress environments, and that's okay if you're trying to survive. But if you're trying to think about something that's longer, further away, trying to create something that's going to add more value to what you offer and what others receive, then you definitely want to be in the right mindset. So step one is to make sure that when you're choosing to be creative and it has a purpose, you are in a relaxed mindset. So you need to get yourself into a relaxed and happy state, into an effective state. So from this perspective, make sure you're with the right people who support you to be creative. Make sure you are in a good environment. Make sure you have the ability to have some creative tools around you. I don't care, even if it's scribbling on a piece of paper and a pen, it could be on your phone. It could be writing on a board. It could be scribbling ideas or typing it away. It could be vocalizing it or acting it out. You can pretty much use any fun and creative tool that you would like in order to generate new ideas. And what tends to happen most times when people are creative is they are quick to judge. So whether you're doing creative work alone or you're doing creative work with others, it's essential that you both decide, you and everybody else in the group, or you and yourself, that in the first 20 to 30 minutes of your creativity, you're actually not going to judge or analyze or assess whether something applies or it doesn't, because then you're not being creative, you're being analytical. So you're using a different area of your brain. So creativity is about basically sitting down with the environment that you're in and saying, all right, I'm going to just throw out as many crazy, wild out of the box, insane ideas as I can in order to generate as many links as possible in my brain to the thing that I'm working on right now. So how do you do that? What you typically do is you say, let's say you have a whiteboard, okay? And then you get a pen, like a felted pen, whatever it is. And then you just start throwing out ideas. A lot of people do it in many different ways. So some of the ways you can do that is you can get, sticky notes. These little yellow stick-it thingamajiggies, right? These ones. So you grab a pen and you say, my first idea is, I don't know what, get John a wig. So you put wig, and then you take wig, and then you put it on the board behind you. Now, for those of you who are in StreamYard, you're not going to see that because it's part of the green screen, but that's basically what's happening. For everyone watching me on Instagram, I set up a green screen to give you a nice effect, but it didn't work, so it's okay. I'm sure you can forgive me. Let's just say it's a green day. Anyways, moving on, what you can do is you can write down some ideas on Post-it notes, throw them out on the board, doesn't matter how crazy you are, and you have fun with it. So you bring in a nice environment. You might put your favorite type of music. You might have your favorite food. Sorry, guys who are fasting, no big deal. You might have some snacks. You might have fun people. You might be in a relaxed environment. You might be in your creative clothes. So even the type of clothes that you wear affect your state of mind and your mood, okay? You might be outdoors, whatever it is, whatever it takes for you to be mostly creative and to come up with as many ideas as possible, that's what you need to do. You need to hack your system. The second thing you do is after you've written down all your notes and ideas and you're in a fun and easygoing state, you leave them for a couple of minutes. So step out away from the experience of these ideas, give yourself a break, go do something completely different to reset your mind, and then come back with a fresh perspective with your group, your team, or yourself. And now you say, all right, so here's what I'm trying to work on. Now, Roy was saying earlier that, John, you need to focus. It's true. He wanted me to focus on the stream itself. But what I want to tell you is, in order to be creative, if we aren't focusing on what we want, then we're not going to be able to create towards it. So let me tell you how creativity tends to work in an effective way. It's not just about thinking out of the box. That's an overused statement. It's about thinking with purpose. Okay, what do I mean by thinking with purpose? Thinking with purpose means I prepare for myself a powerful question. So I'm going to give you an example. The simplest example is right now, for those of you watching on Instagram, you'll know that I'm currently on a green screen because the background didn't work. All right. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask myself a question. And that question is the following. What can I do next time in my next live to innovate and create more interesting backgrounds for you or experiences that are going to make this experience for you as enjoyable as possible and as conducive as possible to a learning environment? So I'll show you what I mean. I'm going to switch my camera. Okay, as you can see here, okay, that's what I look like on the other system. Okay, so in StreamYard, I'm much prettier. That was a joke. I also want to do two more things for you. Anybody who is on Instagram right now would like to join me on StreamYard, you can go to my bio, and in my bio, there is a link, okay? And you can click on that link, and that link will allow you to join the call live and ask me questions related to your work environment. I've also shared that on YouTube and Facebook right now, so you guys can click on the link, join as a guest. You can also join incognito, so you can join by voice, not just by by your actual camera. And you can also join my Instagram live stream right now and ask questions. I want to hear from you. I don't want it to be just my conversation towards you. I want it to be an engaged experience. So it's up to you to take advantage of that. As usual, the show is always about you guys, so you decide. Now, let's step back for a second and refresh. So step number one, I want to be in the right state. But before I start getting creative, I need to know what I'm trying to get creative for. I need to ask myself a powerful question. That powerful question should have a purpose, so that when I sit down to be creative, there's a purpose. Why? Because you need to get motivated. How do you get motivated? You get motivated by knowing that by thinking outside the box, by initiating massive amounts of creativity, by enjoying the process, you're actually going to come up with a solution at the end of it that's going to solve your problem and increase the quality of your life. So I love it. We've got Wala that just joined. Let me add you to the stream. Wala, are you with us? And she has disappeared. I think I shocked her. Wala, don't worry. We were only hearing your voice. That's how you get on the call with me so that we can have conversations. You can share ideas. So when you guys click on these links, it allows you to join my live stream. I want you on the show. Somebody step up on the show. No big deal. Join the call, guys. Join the call. Don't be concerned about that. Okay? It's okay. This is honest conversations. We're here to be fluid with each other and honest with each other. Once we have a powerful question, we're in the right state. We spend some time being creative. We step away from the creative results that we came up with, us and our group of friends. Then we need to sit down and say, all right, what do we do moving forward from here? So now that we have all these creative ideas on the board, okay, what's next? This is where innovation comes in. So innovation says, how can I use these ideas, put them together in a way to take what I'm currently doing and upgrade it to the next level? And to upgrade it to the next level, I really need to know what I want from it. So let me give you a tangible experience of that. Let's say right now you are offering a service, okay? I'll give you an example. Today, I called a company. This company, I purchased from them 5 years ago a product, an outdoor product, okay, that has access to water. And this outdoor product has had some wear and tear because of the weather, the sun, and all that kind of stuff, and it needs some repair. So early in this morning, I went online, started searching for their customer service number and all these kinds of things. And sure enough, I found a WhatsApp number. I found an Instagram account for them, and they said, contact us for more questions. So what do? I contact them for more questions on WhatsApp. Once I start asking questions about the products, and I didn't even talk about maintenance, I just simply said, hi, I would like to know more about this product that you have and how much it costs. And the response was, this is how much it costs, but we don't want to let you know. I mean, we don't want to be able to work with you because we only work with companies. So feel free to search on the internet for someone who sells our products. And I was like, okay, that doesn't make sense. Okay, that doesn't make sense at all. Why are you asking me to put the effort, since I've already arrived to you, to have to go back to the internet, start from scratch, okay, and try to figure out where to find your solution? And this stressed me out. So then anyways, I continued the conversation, tried to negotiate. I'll make this very short. And after I negotiated a bit of information, what they actually came up with is, contact this number. It's the number you're going to find the information that you need. Sorry, guys, for those who are fasting, but I talk here. I have to drink some water for those who are in the Middle East. Now, Roy, yes, you do. You do know that product. So the good thing is that when I called the customer service number from 10 a.m. till 3 p.m. in the afternoon, nobody ever answers. So this was very frustrating for me. I've spent now almost a full half day trying to solve this problem that should take 5 seconds to solve. So I had to go back to WhatsApp, communicate again my issues, and finally they're like, oh, okay, why didn't you tell us you wanted the maintenance department? And I said, okay, but that's what I said in the beginning. So what I'm going to ask you is here, a lot of companies in Lebanon, for those of you who live in Lebanon, complain that there's no business. But then when you reach out in their customer service or customer experience journey, especially since you're already a loyal client, nobody ever answers the phone. So I'd like to understand, why is that so? So the main question here is, how can companies like this innovate, creatively innovate in order to improve the way that they serve others? When I addressed management in their company and said, what's going on, guys? Everyone complains about the lack of money. They said, well, we're too busy. We're selling too many of these products. And I said, that's never an excuse. Being too busy, work is work, great. So you still need to make sure that someone answers the phone and directs your clients, especially since I called 14 times. So these are areas where you can sit and create innovative solutions. Maybe they could have a response on WhatsApp that's automated, that gives people choices and answers and lists maybe the top 5 numbers that everyone always asks for, from maintenance to customer service to et cetera, to et cetera, to et cetera. Since it's a business WhatsApp, that it's already available in WhatsApp, why not do that? 2, maybe you'll have someone dedicated to answer the phone and direct people, or maybe if the phone doesn't work, in the phone message it says, please leave us a message on this email. Just keep the people who are contacting you, give them options of choice that allow them to continuously resolve their problems without saying that you're overloaded by too much work, which is ridiculous. Let's take a look at some questions. We just got an amazing question. I quit my job at the bank after 15 years, so what ideas should I have in searching for a new career? All right, that's a fantastic question. First of all, I'm sorry that you are facing these challenges with banks today. We know that the market is absolute garbage. However, the question goes back to the following. Have you taken any time to sit down with yourself and say, at this stage in your career, at this stage in your age, at this stage, as a man, you have a financial clock, right? So looking at what are the things that are primarily most important to you, have you taken the time to list them down? Why is it important to list them down? Because you need a clear idea of what it is that you desire, then we'll work on how to get to it, okay? So the creativity here can come in from the perspective of saying, why do I need to fit with how everyone else manages their career, or what job positions I'm supposed to be at? Why don't I look at what my talents are, natural and developed talents, what my skills are, natural and developed, what my competencies are, natural and developed, where my knowledge is strongest and where I actually enjoy learning more, so I will invest more time in developing myself. How does this match with what I already know or have mastered to do, right? What is currently turning me off or turning me on when it comes to work? So if I felt like I was jumping into a new challenge, is it that I really need stability, or do I need variety and change? And is that stability that I need right now because I feel unstable? Will I still need that stability 5 years down the line if I'm in the same job, right? Or is it that I need stability right now, but in fact, if I'm in a normal state, in a normal career, I look for variety and change? Is the kind of work that I'm doing the kind of work that I want to be recognized for? So is it important for me to be recognized, for people to see what I'm doing, for it to have value or impact? Or is the kind of work for me the kind of work that I just do, nobody bugs me, I don't bug anyone, I get my job done, and I go enjoy my life and my day? Okay, maybe the kind of work that you want to do is the kind of work that has to give back. So it's not just significant, but it also contributes. It gives back to people. It has the ability for you to share all your wisdom and your experiences, and maybe that's not important to you. Maybe the kind of work that you want to be in right now is the kind of work where you feel connected, part of a community, a group, an environment, a purpose, and maybe not. So again, these are questions to ask. Maybe what you're looking for is something with a lot of certainty, assurance. You're absolutely certain that your job starts at this time, ends at this time, and you have that salary that's coming in. And I like to tell you that a salary is a good thing, but can also be somewhat of a drug, okay? It can make us more comfortable, and so it lowers our ability to innovate and create new solutions that can create opportunities that solve problems for people they didn't know they had yet, or aren't aware that they had yet, that actually generates for you massive amounts of income. Roy, John, I believe everything we do to solve a problem requires a kind of creativity in most situations. Yes, absolutely. Everything you do, anything you do requires creativity. That's why the more exposed you are to many different fields and many different experiences, the more creative you tend to be, because the more neural connections you can do in your brain. You have more to draw on. You have more experiences to relate to in order to solve your challenge or your problem. So I hope this kind of answers your question. I would first ask myself some powerful questions, and while asking these questions, then I would be creative and say, all right, so these are the things that I like. These are the skills that I have. These are the competencies I have. This is what's important to me, okay? Now from here, what can I do? And that's where creativity comes in. What fun things can I do? What interesting things can I do? You've got to take fear out of the equation when you're trying to be creative, because the moment you introduce fear into the equation, you stop being creative, because you're sending yourself back from your prefrontal cortex to your reptilian brain, And that's where creativity goes out the door. You stick to what's normal and comfortable and safe for you, even though it could be absolute garbage. Not really true. Okay? Give me 1 second. All right. I hope this makes some sense for you guys. I've got a couple other questions. Daniel, I took a time, but now I'm just asking why we stopped from achieving. Daniel, I need to understand your question a little bit more. Can you tell me better? Workout Click, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I think all of us are amazing and incredible, and we can do so much. So I just got delivery. Let me open the door super quickly. Going to give you guys some music for I'll be back in a few seconds. Do me a favor and ask me a question. Prepare a question that you want me to answer for you right now in the remaining 10 to 15 minutes of this talk about where innovation and creativity is important to you. Anything you like, so I can answer your questions. Be back in a second. All right, I'm back. So what I'm looking for, like I said before, is questions. I want to answer your questions. It could be about what innovation creativity is if you need more explanation. It could be how to apply that in your life right now, in your work, in your product, in your service, to enhance your career, to increase more income, to solve current problems, to grow, to just learn. If you want to increase your resources in that way, to improve your skill, because we're going to need it. So Workout Click, let's take a look. When I'm alone, I tend to be more creative. Can you explain to me why? Yes, absolutely. So can I ask you a few questions really quickly just to make sure that where do you get your energy from the most? All right. Do you get your energy more when you are alone? So is that your tendency since you were young? Or do you tend to get your energy more when you are with people? So which one gives you more energy? Workout Click. And just share with me your name, please, so I can say your first name if you don't mind, if that's okay with you. More questions. Come on, guys. Bring out those questions. Let's go. All right. Do you believe that some people may not have creativity skills? I believe some people, and it's not actually belief, it's more science. I believe there are people that will have less developed creative potential than others because creativity is a muscle. It's a mental muscle. So there is actually no biological limit for your ability to be creative. No biological limit as long as you have a normal functioning brain and neurology. So there's no limit at all. The only limitation for creative capacity is when you as an individual have been doing the same thing over and over and over again for 20, 30 years. So you're not exposed to new experiences, so your brain has less to draw from, okay? So imagine you're a chef and you are cooking every day pasta and nothing but pasta, and you've never tried any other type of vegetable, fruit, herb, spice. Then food's going to be as creative as the resources available to you. Now send that chef to India and send that chef to Asia and send that chef to the US and other places in the world, and suddenly they're exposed to many different types of herbs and spices and different methods of cooking. And now the pasta will have a very different flavor. And that's why we call it fusion. So fusion comes from access to more experiences. The same thing applies in our brain. All right, so Workout Click, you told us that you gain your energy when you're not around people, and I expected that, so you're an introvert, most probably. And what that means is that the reason you're more creative in situations like this is because you are in that relaxed state in your brain. Remember, I shared with you guys that we have several different drivers driving our brain. So we have the prefrontal cortex, which is in the front, or we have the reptilian brain in the back. So if you're around people and you feel stressed and you have lower energy, it means your brain is thinking about surviving and being comfortable. So there's more brain power going towards dealing with your external environment, Workout Click, than actually going internal. So when you're alone and you're creative, that means that when you're alone, you feel safe. So your brain doesn't have to deal with all these challenges, and it focuses more on the things that you enjoy doing. So that's why you're more creative in that sense. So yeah, I hope that explains the science to you. Let's take a look. Do you believe that some people, okay, so we can develop those skills. Roy, I answered that question. Thank you for that support. Who else has questions? Fadi, just let me know if I answered your question effectively. And if you want to go deeper, brother, you can ask me more questions. I'm super happy to answer. Let me just take a look here. Sorry, I didn't actually mean to put that up in the main area. Okay. So Roy, some are creatives under pressure. Yes, that's a different type of creativity, okay? And so let's talk about that a little bit. I am a creative under pressure, and that's where problem solving comes in, right? So you're thrown in the fire, you need to solve it, and you use your creativity to do so. So you can be more creative when you know what you're dealing with and you need to solve it. But when it's abstract, it's not so easy when you're under pressure, okay? And remember, it depends again on your confidence level. It depends on your past performance. So if in situations similar to this, you've been able to succeed, slowly and surely you develop that muscle, right? So think about like you went to the gym and you were able to do a bench press, okay, or squats or whatever it is, and your normal weight is whatever, 10 kilos. The next time you go to 12, the next time you go to 15, 20, 30, 40, 50. A year from now, you walk in the gym and your warm-up is 100 kilos, right? So the plateau has been raised tremendously. So that's why when you're in fire, you have a strong plateau to rely on. So yes, when it's life-threatening, creativity goes through the roof. When it's abstract and we need to come up with something that doesn't exist in our mind, so coming up with a new business concept, coming up with new ways to communicate our ideas to people, that definitely does come in when we feel happy and we are in a productive state, okay? And remember, there's a balance between pressure and challenge, okay? And skill, if you want. And we call that flow. So if your skill level and the challenge are close, you're flowing. If your skill level and the challenge is too low, you get bored. If your skill level is low and the challenge is too high, you get threatened, okay? So you're not going to be as creative. Your brain shuts down or blocks, or you feel like it's too much to handle. Oof, I feel like my brain is going to blow, or I have a headache. You end up being creative, but at a very high price. So actually, responding to your question, Roy, the trick here, especially as leaders, is to coach, mentor, and develop our teams to make sure that their creative skills, their innovative skills, their problem-solving skills, their skills to deliver results, and the challenge are quite close to each other. So if you give something to someone that's way beyond their capacity, you're going to drown them, especially if they have no support. If you support them, then you're raising the capacity because you're doing it together as a team. That's why working together as a team can be very effective if we are aligned. So these are some of the things that I wanted to share with you guys. What else do you have as questions? Let's go. Ruba. How can we protect our creative and innovative mindset if we cannot be creative in a very busy and fast-paced work environment? That is fantastic. And that's what I talked about at the beginning of the session. You gotta create that opportunity. So you need to create a state of creativity in you, and that's what we call state management. So look, is there ever going to be a time when things are not going crazy? Is there ever going to be a time when you're not under tremendous amounts of pressure? Probably, but you go back and forth between them. So what we're trying to say here is know what you need to deliver a result and then manage back, okay? So let me try to explain to you what I mean by this. Excuse me, guys. I'm going to just take a little bit of water. In previous jobs where I was actually an employee, which was a long time ago, okay, long time ago. But anyways, I was under high pressure performances and high pressure jobs. Roy knows, he was with me in the US, and we used to work in sister companies. And during that time, I was under tremendous amount of pressure. I mean, one of my jobs, I was in charge of thousands of employees and their performance. And to be very frank with you, Ruba, in this kind of situation, creativity went out the door. I was almost like just execute and react to the environment or the situation that you're in. Over time, I found that to be very exhausting for me. So it took me to a position where I just didn't have any more juice, no more power. And then what does your brain do? It shifts from being productive to actually getting angry. So you start to force things to move forward. And that forcefulness gets things resolved temporarily, but burns everyone else around you. And it also makes you less desirable to work with. So rather than you being an individual that people enjoy working with and are creative with, you're actually getting everyone else around you to fear you and to feel that you are a source of pain. So in this situation, when they consider you to be a source of pain, guess what happened? People stop innovating, they stop creating, they stop contributing. And what they do instead is they block and they execute the minimum that's required to do their job, to keep their job. And that's how leaders destroy organizations. And that's how leaders overpower people's ability to understand, learn, innovate, and grow and develop. And then the culture of a company blocks. So what I had to do at some point was I need to sit down myself and I need to be honest with myself. And I said, okay, I'm really irritating a lot of people who are working with me. So what do I need to do to change so that I can enjoy the job again and they can enjoy doing it with me? And what happened was that I actually had to sit down with my execs and I said, guys, I need time off. And they said, that's impossible. I said, well, I'm not asking you for a day off, for a week off. I'm asking you for an hour off during the day. And they went nuts. No, how can we do that? There's too much work. And I said, what do you care about? Do you care about the results? Or do you care about how much time I spent clocking in and clocking out? And they sat down and said, we care about the results. I said, okay, you hired me to be an executive. Get out of my way and let me execute. I know how to best manage myself and my team. And I'm not doing it right now because I'm following your system, which doesn't work for me. So I had a really pretty cool manager who was an out-of-the-box thinker, but also like totalitarian. So what he did was he said, okay, we'll do it your way for a month. And we're going to take a look at the KPIs and results. If you deliver, you deliver. You don't deliver, you're out. And I said, fine, deal. So there was pressure. But the difference was that now I got to create the kind of environment I needed to deliver for my team and for my team to continue to deliver for me and for the company. So what I did then is I said, in that hour, I would take half an hour to completely disconnect from work. And the next half an hour, I would use it to find ways to make the job and the challenges fun. And I actually went into the office the next day. I put some fun music. I put a loud environment, and the employees were actually shocked. My direct team, they're like, "What's wrong with this guy? Has he gone nuts?" I started putting some music, and I went out and I said, "All right, what we're going to do is we're going to get ourselves into a fun state. I want everyone to leave their desks. We're going to sit in a circle, and we're going to talk about what's going on, and we're going to solve it together right now." And at first, there was a lot of resistance because people are like, okay, this is never going to work. What does this idiot want from us? And how is this going to change anything? And so, people are uncomfortable with change. So we sat down, they're looking at me, I'm looking at them, and there's a circle, and they're sort of like, all right, is this one of those, support groups? And so I turned around and kind of felt like that. And I said, hi, I'm John, I'm an alcoholic. And they just started laughing. So the moment they broke down laughing, broke up, well, whatever it is, laughing, and I started laughing, that instantly shifted the mood. So what state did they shift from reptilian to prefrontal? So they started to laugh, and I said, okay, let me use that. So I started to laugh with them. We started joking for about 10 minutes, and everyone relaxed. You could see their body language relax, their breathing relaxed. They got into a better state. Everything was much better. And I said, all right, guys, let's tackle our problems. Let's have honest discussions about where we are, what we really want, and how can we move forward. So no complaining. That's my only condition. No pointing fingers. Just talking about where we are and where we need to be. So one of the first complaints came out was like, the water dispenser is too far for everybody. We have to walk for 6-7 minutes to get to it and come back, and the water spills on the way. It's wasting our time, and we don't end up drinking enough water. Imagine. But this was a constant pain. It was a shared pain universally by around 10 people. So I said, okay, what can we do to change that experience? And after taking a look at it for a few seconds, the decision was moving the water dispenser was not going to work. So I just told them, all right, I'm going to gift you guys a water dispenser, and I'm going to put it right in the middle of this office. Done? And you just saw this relief come over them. And so we started getting rid of the small problems. It required just a little bit of innovation in how to solve them. And then we got bigger and bigger, and that's where creativity kicks in. And by the end of this, I made this a regular thing. So we would sit together for the first week every day for half an hour, creatively solving problems. And then it became once a week thing, and it was a trend for an entire year and a half. Every Thursday at 4 p.m. in the afternoon, we'd sit down together. It's just almost where everyone's almost done with their work. And we would put some nice music. Every week, someone would bring something to eat, something that was fun. Sometimes it was fruits. Someone brought us some vegetables. Other people brought us some cookies. It was always something interesting. We even started exchanging some gifts, playing some games. And what we did was we created a fun environment that allowed us to come up with solutions. And then guess what? When people went out to implement it, they were super excited to do it because they had fun in creating it, and they created it with me. So the weight wasn't on me. The weight was on everyone to prove that they had done the right thing or they came up with the right idea. So I'm not saying that's what you need to do all the time. I'm just saying that in challenging times like this, finding ways to engage your team for all of you to enjoy the process is definitely going to add a lot more value for you and your end consumer than actually just being in a reactive mode where everyone's blaming everybody for everything and the leader's in a position where they're just barking out orders. Maria, do you agree with creativity is something you practice, not just a talent? And if you agree with it, how do we practice creativity? I had covered that already in the beginning of the session multiple times, but I'll share with you as a closing statement. Creativity is definitely not a talent, but a skill. It is a skill that can be developed, learned, and enhanced. That's why I call it a muscle. And this is based on research from neuroscience. It's not my own wisdom. And anyways, through experience, I know that that's taking place. So how you increase that and how you develop that is you expose yourself to as many opportunities as possible that are outside your comfort zone. And that way you have a lot to draw on, okay? I give the example of a chef who cooked in the same country with the same herbs and spices all his life. Take him through a tour of several different continents, and by the time he comes back or she comes back to her cooking station, you're going to get a completely different palette created by that chef, because now they have many more choices and they have the ability to relate to these choices because they tasted them, they smelt them, their senses immersed in them, it's part of their system. So you got to upgrade your knowledge, guys, and you upgrade your creativity through several things. One, watch videos. Expose yourself to as many YouTube videos as you can of many different ideas, TED speakers, etc. Get different perspectives. Two, read a lot of books, because books give you tremendous amounts of information, knowledge, and perspectives, but make sure what you learn is purposeful, as in it's focused on where you want to get, not just learning in general. Three, do things that are outside of your comfort zone. Expose yourself to new skills, techniques, methodologies. You don't like cooking? Go cook at least once. Just do it once. Expose your brain to that. You don't like walking in nature? Do it once. Expose yourself at least once. You don't like swimming? Do it once, even if you have to wear flotation devices. You don't like, I don't know, covering finances and math? Read just one book about it. The more you expose yourself, you can take more Udemy courses, you can take master classes. There's a million resources today, a plethora of knowledge, including people like me who are sharing knowledge and experience from our background in consultancy, training, development, mentoring, and coaching. And that's the objective. Finally, you get more creative by spending time with creative people. So people who are not, in a mindset where they're always thinking the same thoughts and they're always about processes and procedures. Sometimes you need to take off, okay, the clothing, the suit, or the hat, or whatever it is that you're wearing that's your day-to-day job, and go and do something completely different in order to have different perspectives. That's why I'm with rotating job positions in the company. I'm with that happening because it gives us different ways to perceive other people's positions and also resolve problems in a way that wasn't available to them before. I think we're almost done. This website is not working on my device. Misha, I'm sorry, I'm not sure why. Can you tell me what your device is? Because it's just a web platform, so it should allow you to log in. If not, Misha, you can join me on Instagram and you can join the live there. My Instagram is john.kruz. But anyways, we're almost done for today. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed the session. I hope it was of value for you. I'm going to close out the session with some humor when it comes to the to the filters to just make you guys laugh a little bit. And I'm going to tell you adieu, everybody. Adieu. Okay, that's not what I wanted. That was more of a Frozen kind of experience. But I just wanted to make you guys laugh for a few seconds before we say goodbye. Thank you so much for logging on always on Honest Conversations. This was episode 18, focusing on how to increase your creativity and innovation. I can't go deep, guys, unless you ask me deep questions. So please, 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 for next time, make sure you are asking a lot more questions. I look forward to engagement. You're much braver before, people. You were opening up, coming on the show and asking me a lot of questions, and I enjoy that much more than me doing all the talking. Anyways, God bless you. Have an amazing and incredible weekend. All right. For those of you that I will not see next week who are fasting the holy month of Ramadan, I wish you a Ramadan Mubarak. For those of you who are all over the world who have just finished the Orthodox Easter, happy Easter. For those of us who had Easter before, also happy Easter. And for the first month of summer kicking in mid-May and forward, I'm going to wish you a beautiful summer. And I see you next week again on Honest Conversations. God bless you. Have an amazing experience and see you soon. John out. I should have done that better, actually. Like John out and then bam, everything closes. All right, people, let's end these broadcasts.